Hi there, I'm making this video as a way for beginners in Pad to kind of have some information on how to start their account. There's a lot of great resources out there for advanced players and intermediate players. But when I just started my account a few months ago, I found out that there's not a whole lot for beginners out there, or it's kind of hard to sift through the information because the game's been out for so long, and you might find some information that's outdated. The thing about Pad is it's getting updated all the time. The meta game is changing all the time. Just recently, co-op was added, 3-minute stamina was added. Those are two huge things that have totally changed the game. So any information you find, if it's more than a year old, it's probably not going to be very updated to what players are doing now. So that's why I wanted to make this video. It's 2016. For any players that are starting out Pad now for whatever reason, the co-op or the 3-minute stam or whatever, they just found it or their friends are playing it, I just want them to have some information. So first I'll go over using your stones, and in the second part I'll go over how to use your stamina. Firstly, with stones, that's the currency in the game. If you purchase stones, obviously you'll progress through the game faster. But if you want to save money, then you should really work on maximizing the utility of your stones. And I think the best way to do that is to try to get the best rolls possible on the rare egg machine. First off, everyone will tell you the same thing. Only roll on Godfest. They happen twice a month, about twice a month. Don't roll during galas. Also, don't roll collab machines unless you really have everything you want in the game and you just want to, get some special card or something. Don't roll a collab. Always roll just the regular rare egg machine. It will really help out your teams, and only roll those during Godfest. And for beginners, I'd recommend Egyptian One gods, Chinese gods, Three Kingdoms, Heroes, and if there's a 4x Godfest exclusive event, I would recommend that. And of course, the best one would be Player's Choice, but that only happens twice a year. So the best way to maximize the use of your stones is to get good rolls. So how do you do that, you ask? Well, obviously, it's all about RNG. You could get some great rolls in the beginning and start a great account, or you could start off with really crap rolls and then not have any really good teams for a very long time. And I think that's the frustration that probably a lot of people have with this game, is that they play through the game and they don't get any good cards, and then they just want to quit. Or they only get one or two and they're baited in, and they're hoping to fill out the teams for the good cards they have, and they never get the cards to fill out their team. So what I recommend you do is to re-roll for your account. And what that means is when you start an account, re-roll a Godfest until you get the best roll you can. And I would recommend not just doing one roll, but to do 2 or 3. So let's say you roll one good roll, and it's good or great. Keep playing the game, get 5 more stones, and roll again, and evaluate those 2 rolls on if you want to keep the account or not. And that's what I did. I did that for multiple accounts. I rolled 2 or 3 times, and I evaluated the value of those 3 rolls and decided if I wanted to keep the account. So I kept multiple accounts. And how you can evaluate your rolls is up to you, but you don't want to only get leaders. You don't only want to get subs. You want to get a combination of leaders and subs. And of course, best case scenario in those first 3 rolls is that you get a leader and a sub that synergize with each other, so that you already have a good start in building a team in the future. So that's what I recommend you do with your rolls. And I mentioned I made multiple accounts. I really recommend you do that. If you have multiple devices lying around, an iPad, iPod, iPhone, Android tablet, Android phone, use as many devices as you can and as many accounts as you can. And what I would recommend you do is when you re-roll, do it on your backup device. And if you get pretty good account started up where you got 2 or 3 rolls that seem pretty decent or really good, transfer that account to your main device, whether it be your phone or whatever. And the way you can do that is in the game, you go to Others, the Others tab at the bottom, and go to Device Change, and change that account over to the other device. And then what you can do is you can continue re-rolling with your backup device, and then you can get potentially 2 good accounts with 2 devices. And I did it with actually 3. And at that point, what I recommend you do is you can invest as much time as you want into each account. But if, let's say, one account seems better than the other, you can play that one full time, and the other one you could just kind of collect things, on a daily basis and just log in, collect the daily rewards, do the easy things, and not really do much else. So you're building up multiple accounts. You're getting free stones on all those accounts. You're getting the easy stones on all those accounts. You save them up. You really need to be patient, because at this point, you're waiting for the next Godfest, or you could roll during the same Godfest, I guess, but chances are you won't be able to get enough stones in that time, in the day or two that lasts. So I recommend you really gather as many stones as you can through playing the game. And in the beginning of the game, it's really easy to get stones. You can get about 150, 200 stones for free relatively easily in the game. Save up those stones, wait for the next Godfest that will complement the cards that you already have, and then you just go to town, roll all your stones. And then at that point, you can have all your accounts all rolled out, and you can look at your boxes and say, okay, which box looks the best? And I had this going for me. I had multiple accounts going. I waited, I played the game just kind of casually for a couple weeks, and I rolled, I waited for a good Godfest. I actually skipped a couple, and then I got a pretty decent box, and the other 2 were okay also, but there was just one that was really shining past the others, so I chose that account over the other 2. And here you go. This is the account I used. So this is where it's at now. As you can see, I'm ranked 244, which is not that high. I feel like I kind of just got out of the beginning stages of the game. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm just giving my experience of how I dealt with the intro of the game. And as you can see, here's my 100-day bonus. I got that 25 days ago. So the account is not that old. I'm ranked 244, and this is my box. Now, I started off, the first few rolls I got were these 3 here. I got a Sakia, a Gaudius, and a Neptune. At that point, I decided, I want to keep the account. Those 3 rolls, these were my re-rolls, were good enough to keep this account, and I held on to it until the next Godfest, and then I rolled these 2. And as soon as I got bested, I knew this is, got some really good potential. And then I saved up more than 100 stones, and I just kind of gradually rolled at different various Godfests, the ones that would benefit me the most. And this one had, I think, 3 kingdoms. I'm not really sure. But I rolled this Liu Bei, and then at that point, I was really excited because that's exactly what I wanted for my Bastet. And then I waited until a couple months later when the Player's Choice rolled around, and that's, like I said earlier, it's probably the best time for new players to roll Godfest because you can just get all the good gods in one big hurrah. And I got from here all the way down, forgot where it stopped, but I think I stopped around here with the Player's Choice. But as you can see, I got a lot of good rolls with Player's Choice. Actually, now I think about it, I got my third Kali. Actually, no, I stopped here at Vishnu. So, yeah. And then I rolled these other ones in different Godfest after the player's choice. So as you can see, it's not the best box in the world, but it's got some pretty good rolls on it for what it is, which is 125-day-old count, rank 244. These rolls can make some really solid teams. Now I know this technique of juggling multiple accounts and eventually picking a winner won't be for everyone, but I just wanted to share my experience of how I kind of curve the RNG factor of the game a bit. And I know, of course, not everyone will have the same experience as I had, but hopefully you'll get at least one solid team, and that will be able to carry you into end game content. And honestly, with even just one good team, you can accomplish a lot with the game, and there are a lot of good farmable subs in the game that you can use to fill out your good team. So yeah, that's definitely a good start. Just having one good team. There's just nothing more frustrating than having an account and rolling silver after silver and not even having one decent team to clear or descend. But if you got that one team, then you're set. You'll eventually get other teams if you're patient. And one thing I forgot to mention, when you get a good roll in the rare egg machine, don't forget to favorite that card right away. Just go in your monster box and click on the card and add to favorite. This way you won't accidentally sell or feed that monster off. It happens a lot, actually, and I hear a lot of horror stories about newer players doing this. So if you favorite that monster, it won't allow you to feed it or sell it. And another tip I want to give on spending stones is when you're starting out the game, don't use your stones for stamina or for retrying dungeons. It's really tempting because you get frustrated when you lose that dungeon that you want to win and you don't want to just continue on, but just trust me, it's not worth it. When you have less than 3 completed teams in your box, it's not worth it to waste those stones on those things that can just be solved with patience. If you lose to a dungeon, you can just wait for your stamina to return and try it again. Even if it's a descended dungeon that's going to be gone for the day, you can just wait a week or two and it'll come back. It's not worth it to spend, to start throwing stones at it. Also, for your stamina, look at my stamina. I'm ranked 244, I got 138. I spend 1 stone, I get 138 stamina. That's not even 3 descents. So, at this point in the game, even for me, it's not really worth it for me to use a stone on stamina. And especially when you're starting off and you have 50, 60, 70 stamina, 1 stone only gets you 50 stamina. That's 1 descent. So, it's only recommended to use stones for stamina for players that are really high rank, have a lot of stamina. In the beginning, it's much safer to save your stones for building out better teams. That concludes my tips for beginners on how they can use stones. In the next part, I will go over my tips for using your stamina.